Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Alton and I am glad that you could join me today. If you like what you see today, or even if you don't, I really don't care. Please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Today with me back in the saddle, it's been a few months. It's been since our last Christmas episode, our top gifts for Christmas, but I have with me my buddy Isaiah, the Urban Ninja.
Hey Alton, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me, and it's been too long since we've done this.
I know things have been crazy busy, but I'm glad we're back in the saddle.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so Isaiah and I have been talking, and we were doing the show and tell, and we liked it. We were having fun, but maybe we wanted to clarify a little bit. So we've decided to revamp, and so we're going to be continuing on as partners here, but we're going to be doing top 10s because we know that you guys love your top 10s.
Yes, definitely. I can't wait to dig into these, starting with this one and just top 10 everything.
So today we are doing the watches that we want to buy. That's Isaiah and myself, ranging from $250 to $3,750. And I'll let you guess which one of us has that $3,700 watch on their wish list. So with no further ado, let's get into it. Top 10 watches we want to buy. Coming in at number 1, this is Isaiah's pick. Why don't you tell us about this watch?
So this one's a world timer, and it's an interesting design because it's not too complicated. It looks more complicated than it really is. There's no bezels to turn and nothing to move around. It's not like the digital world timers where you're switching. The timers are all along the dial, so you have your cities around it, and it's just a really nice looking watch overall. I think its build design and quality look top grade to me, and I it's just something I've been looking at for about a year now, but never bit the bullet on it.
I love Fair because they go all out with their designs. They don't play it conservatively. They seem to just have some fun and whimsy, which is kind of interesting for a smaller watch brand in today's market.
Yeah, definitely. But again, it's like that world time without being complicated, and that to me is the bottom line there.
Now, 39 millimeters. I know you like your bigger watches. Are you going to have trouble with that?
I've been moving towards 40 more or less. Like I haven't been doing the 43s and 46s. I think they might be a little too big, but I think my sweet spot is 40 right now, and 39 is not that much off from 40. So
yeah, I'm finding that I'm liking smaller watches too. 40 to 42 is a good mark for me. So $1,400 US. All of these prices, folks, they're all MSRP. So obviously a lot of these you're going to get for less money, but this really is a beautiful watch.
Yeah, definitely.
So coming in at number 2, now this is my pick, is one I have wanted for years, the STOWA Marine Classic. This is a beautiful deck watch. They would have had a chronometer lower down in the ship, protected in a box, and then the captain and his crew would set their watches to that, and that would be the deck watch they would bring up, as they were navigating. And so it's classic, it's timeless, and STOWA is one of those original brands. So to have a STOWA in your collection, that's just a German watch. You got to have one. 40 millimeters is a good size, nice and thin. You can get it with either an ETA automatic, or you can get it with a hand wound Sellita, which is really nice. Of course, there's costs for everything. The hand wound is actually a little more money.
So the hand wound's more money, but is it a thinner? Is the thickness less than it would be with the automatic?
Yeah, it could be, but from the reviews I've watched, that's one of the negatives, in that they use the same case no matter what movement is inside of it. I guess, $900 US is not that much money for what you're getting, especially since the brand has a lot of legacy, a lot of heritage.
Right.
So I think that's one way they're keeping the cost down, is using the same case. But even the automatic is 10.3 millimeters. I mean, that's hard to complain about.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it's a nice looking watch. I mean, the only thing I've noticed was that it kind of looks like your other chronometer watch with the blue hands and whatnot. But you do you are kind of moving into that 40 millimeter range right now, and that's the big difference to me.
Yeah, I
But
have a
it is a beautiful.
Hamilton deck watch, which is 43. Definitely wears 43. It's a big watch, but I can pull it off.
Yeah.
I think for me, this is kind of a next step beyond that watch. Serve a bit of a different purpose. I'd probably wear it more to the office. I could wear it with a shirt and tie, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not as
And
rugged.
yeah, yeah, and it's full polish too, so you can dress it up or you can dress it down.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one. And folks, these are watches we actually want to buy. So at the end of this, we need you to tell us in the comments which ones you think we should buy out of these five. All right, because we each picked five. So number three, this is Isaiah's second pick.
Yeah, so this is my watch I've been eyeing for years. This is not even this is before we were even friends. Obviously the cost, this is that 3750 manufacturer's retail. I do have my own personal dealer who will get me, a discount off of it, but it won't be, that much to begin with. But it's been one of my dream watches for years. I think after last year's plunge, I've probably spent more than 37.50 on watches, but for 15, 20 watches, whatever amount
Yeah,
of watches I have. At this point, I'm more trying to gear towards heirloom pieces that I can pass down.
yeah,
And this one, like my Oris, will stand in that side of the collection. So I'm trying to
yeah.
get less of the sub 500s and save that money and get something I really want that'll last forever and never go out of style.
Yeah, I think you and I are in similar places in our collecting journey where we bought a lot in the early days. And then now it's like, let's maybe have less watches, but a little bit more in each one we have.
Yeah, high quality pieces that are, that, like I said, I can pass this to a grandchild or something
Yeah.
on my deathbed.
So what would you probably be able to buy this at? It's listed at 3,700, but is this something you could get 20% off at an AD?
Yeah, my AD is telling me I could get it for about 29 right now, and he'll give me the pay as I go kind of deal. So, because I have a personal relationship with him, he's the one who got me this Oris and got
Yep.
me my Laco some time ago. So he's not, he's a really good guy. I've introduced him to other customers, my few and far between real life watch friends. Because
Yeah.
of that and the pandemic situation, he values me as a customer, and that's a good relationship I have there.
Well, and that's a great point. Building relationship with your AD opens up some doors because there's a trust there between the two of you.
Yeah, correct. And again, 37, it's nothing to sneeze at in my, my
Hmm.
financial range. So
Yeah, US dollars for me, that's like 8 billion Canadian.
isn't
All right.
everything 8 billion committee?
Yeah, pretty much. Number four is a Baltic AQUASCAPHE. I have no idea how to say this word, and I know how I would want to say it, but I'm saying it all kinds of different ways on YouTube, so I don't know. So this is a watch that I've been looking at for some time, and one of the reasons I never picked it up is because I wasn't a huge fan of the movement, but maybe I'm getting a little less snobby in my days, but I really like this watch. It's a beautiful retro, kind of a skin diver style. It's 39 millimeters, so this would be small for me. Double dome sapphire, all of that stuff. It's the Miyota 9000 series movement that maybe I'm a little snobby about, but that is a movement that's Japanese, and it was designed to compete with the ETA 2824s and the Sellita SW200s out there. And its list price is only 700 US dollars, a little bit more for this beautiful oyster, not oyster, sorry, beads of rice bracelet that it can come on. I just love that blue and the gilt. So this is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's a remarkable watch. I really like the bezel, and that blue that's in there. I mean, obviously pictures are always different than real life, but it's not quite navy blue. It's got this really,
Mhm.
it's a really nice shade of blue, and I like this watch from the time you showed it to me. And I'll be honest, I like the Miyota 9000. I think it's better than the 8200s. You know,
Yes.
it's way better. And you know, everywhere you go, you're getting 8200s from the micro brands or the sub
Yeah.
500s. That's what you get. You know, you're lucky if you get hacking. You get the same movement. Sometimes it has hacking, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean? So I get your point about the Miyota and being in that $900 range, but it's not a bad movement. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not like you're getting what Timex is putting in their watches.
My understanding is that they also regulate them. So it's hand assembled in France,
Hmm.
and that care and attention, that boutique watch style. And I see that the owner of Baltic Watches is very active in social media, which I kind of like that too.
Yes, absolutely. That personal relationship you can have when Xanto is like that type of brand where I have that
Mhm.
personal relationship and I can talk to them and they'll post my stuff. But I do notice with other watches, like you and myself have a few Boulevars,
Yeah.
and they'll have that Miyota movement, the 8200s, and mines are always running super fast whenever I've got them, and I've had to take them to the watchmaker because I'm not waiting 8 weeks for Citizen to, take my
Yeah.
watch back on the warranty and fix it for me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's when you have a micro brand who's charging you $100 for a nice watch with sapphire and all that, and then you have another brand who's charging you 500-600 bucks, you kind of wonder what are you getting. But I think with
Yeah,
Baltic, you're getting the design and the attention to detail and the fit and finish that you get on your AliExpress special.
yeah, and hand assembled is nothing to sneeze at. I mean,
Yeah.
it's work. You're paying for
Yeah.
that work.
That's it. Number five. Oh, beautiful watch. This is another one of Isaiah's picks.
Yeah, so Mr. Jones has some of the funkiest watches I've ever seen.
Mm,
Ever since we've met, I've moved out of the courts game completely. But if I had to sacrifice and anything, it's not an expensive watch, but it's so unique. Its characteristics on this one, the Perfectly Useless Morning, which is the sequel to the Perfectly Useless Afternoon.
which I
Um,
love, by the way. I've always
yeah,
wanted one of those
yeah.
afternoons.
Right, and that one's no longer being made. It is a bit on the smaller side, being only 37 millimeters. But for what I'm paying and what I get with a single cord jewel movement, such a unique watch. Obviously, I'm not going to wear it every day,
Yeah.
but it's something to stand out and something I just want in my collection. And to me,
Yeah.
it's like very unique.
I think it's the kind of watch you'd look at, it would make you smile every time you saw it in the watch box.
Yes, yes. And that once in a while you do wear it, you're definitely gonna get comments on that. What an interesting watch
Mm,
you have there. What's that? And it's that fall vibe, which is my favorite season. So,
yeah. The
it,
colors are
it's
beautiful.
yes, amazing.
And so, what they do with these watches a lot of the time is they have a limited run.
Yeah,
And then this is the follow up. They've added that little fox that you see there near
correct,
the four and near the center. Yeah.
correct.
For this to make it a little different from the limited runs. I know that does rankle some people a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like it's a sequel. It's not a reissue, so I don't mind it. If you're doing a reissue, I can understand where you get those people complaining about that type of thing. But it's got a different name. It's a sequel. It's
Yeah.
not. It's part two. It's not. Hey, let me reissue this. It's not Star Wars: The Special Edition.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. All right. Number six, another Baltic. Again, this is one of my picks. I guess I'm on a Baltic kick these days for some reason, but this one is the GMT version. This one's got a lot of buzz. It came out a number of months ago, and everybody wanted to get their hands on one of these. It's very similar to the other Baltic that I showed you, except for it has a GMT complication, and it now has a Swiss Soprod movement in it, which isn't a movement that a lot of people know about, but it gets respect from those who do know about it. But the price bumps up from, what was it, 700 to 750 for the other one to now 1100 US dollars for the GMT. And I have to ask myself, is it worth saving up that extra 500 bucks for me GMT over the regular version?
Well, I mean, here you're paying for that movement, obviously, and you know, if you've got the bezel, the whole nine going on here, it's a nice watch. There's no question about it. Baltic is making some really nice stuff. I
Yeah.
think I think you know, obviously it's up to value to you, but I think that those the colorways too, like you're getting a nice piece for what you're paying. It's
Yeah.
not, you know, it's not like it's not worth the money in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah. From what I've read, people say it's a great design, well done, probably worth the money if it's something you value, having that complication and that design.
Right. Right.
Hmm. All
Yeah, it's
right.
very interesting. Is those the only colorways? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh
jump
yeah, we'll go
ahead.
back.
Yeah.
So there's three. There's these two, and I
And the
believe these
previous.
two are the only ones that are available right now. And then there's
Ah,
this one which is sold out. Now this is the one that I would want.
that's what I can see why it's sold out though.
Yeah, it's a little more subtle. It's a little more classy.
Yeah.
If you want fun, I'd go for one of these two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the one thing I would say, you know, if you're gonna pay, you should get the one you want. If it's not available, you know, it may not be. You're not gonna love it the way the one you want. You love it with the money spent expenditure. You know.
exactly. I think you're right on that one. If you're going to spend $1,500, then you want to get the one that you
Yeah.
can really, really go. Oh. Like, there's nothing worse than buying something to fill a spot and going, yeah, that just doesn't quite do it for me.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
then
Been there.
you sell it later on to fund the one that you really do want, and you only get 60 or 70% of the value.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Been there. Done that.
Yep. You ready for number 7?
Absolutely.
Number 7. This is Isaiah's pick, the Dan Henry 1970.
Yeah. So, you know, that what's there to say about Dan Henry that everybody in the watch world doesn't know already? You know, it's just a classic, well built watch, and it's just something I don't have in my collection, and everybody else seems to have one. So I'm
Yep.
trying to jump on the bandwagon with it and just at least have that one. Plus, for me, at the price point that it is, it looks, and I'm not to insult anybody, but it looks like it'd be a good beater watch for me. You know, like for my
Mm-hmm.
everyday kind of, you know, not that I want to beat it, but you know, it looks like a good beater watch. It's a Seiko movement. It's you know, it's got the sapphire coating. I think for work wise, obviously, you know my style. I switch watches from
Yeah.
me doing work to, you know, wearing a nice watch, and this would probably be something I'd wear at work
Yeah.
throughout the day. You know.
Yeah, and the 40 millimeters is a good size. You're not likely to get it snagged on something if you're in there doing something mechanical.
Correct, absolutely. And I think, you know, one of the things that intrigues me about this watch is that you're able to order it, you know, with the date, without the date, or
Mm-hmm.
different sizing, which is something you only get like a lot of higher end watch brands that'll do that for you. Um, you know, I think that's interesting. I think I'm going more towards the less date. I think I'm a
Mm-hmm.
bit tired of spending that day, especially yesterday or the day before, you know, from the
Yeah.
28th, I had to fly through 3 days to set my watch. So
Yep.
I know people love date complications and there's some people who don't. I have a mix of both, but I think the less date complications I have, the better.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Sometimes it's nice to have just something without a date complication, especially if it's a mechanical watch and you set it down. You
Yeah,
go back to it 6 days later, you got to reset the whole thing.
exactly. Exactly.
So I have a Dan Henry 1970. I have an original, as you know, the
Yes.
44 mil version. Where to buy it today, I would probably get the 40 mil.
Yeah.
I It's a beautiful watch, but I'm actually selling it to fund another purchase. So if anyone
Right.
wants to buy it, hit me up. But what I did find, like I barely wore it over 2 years, and so that's one reason to sell it. But I do have some very fine scratches in the crystal. So that sapphire coated mineral crystal is supposed to be the best of both worlds, but I don't know if it is. The scratches aren't lines, they're just a little tiny, a few divots. Almost looks like dust you can't wipe off.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. But again, if I'm using it as a beta watch, I mean, that's
Yeah,
the whole reason I'd be, you know, to not
yeah,
get this Oris scratched up.
yeah, exactly. $290, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's definitely a great looking watch. I actually took mine apart and it's very nice and clean inside. Everything's well made.
I saw. It was very nice. And then, you know, the case back too. It's got a really nice case back. I love designs on case backs, and it's almost a shame
Yeah,
you get so many nice case backs, but don't get to display them, you know?
I want to know who put the case back on in this picture, because I could not get mine to line up perfectly. Like maybe if I tried another 3 or 4 times, I would have, but whoever put
Yeah.
this case back on, they got it right. All right, let's move to number 8, the full
Ooh.
metal G-Shock. Now, I know you're not a huge G-Shock fan, and I never was, but then I got one, and now they're just breeding like rabbits in my watch box. I have another Casio on the way. My dealer's telling me that by the end of the week, he should be getting in the clear version of the Casio, which everybody wants, and it's hard to find. But I've been thinking I want a digital watch that's grown up, and
Gotcha.
I love the digital watches that I see by Casio, but the guys wearing them have like a 6.5-inch wrist, and I have an 8-inch wrist. I tried on my son's F91W. I could only get it on the very last hole of the strap, and it looked like I was wearing a child's watch. So
Yeah.
to me, this is like a grown up digital watch that I'd wear to the office, wear out getting groceries, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm really impressed when you sent this one over for me to take a look at. I was like, you know, this one I can get on board with in a sense. You know, I'm not a fan of digital watches overall. But I think the fact that it is, you know, it's got that metal band, the metal shape, it's a, you know, really chromy looking. It does have a grown-up feel about it. One of my things with the Casios, for me personally, is that, you know, whenever you're watching retro TV or whatever, I always see somebody wearing that, you know, that old Casio digital, and it
Yeah.
just kind of turns me off to it. Like, I am an 80s kid. I love my
Mm-hmm.
Transformers. You got your Optimus Prime sitting in the back, but this was just something that I never wanted to carry over in a sense, you know. But this watch in the silver, it's impressive. It's really a nice looking watch, and I could see myself wearing that.
Cool. Do I have to wear weird fabric
Metal
pants
chains.
with a metal chain? Like, what's going on with that guy? What is he doing right now?
That guy's not. Yeah, I don't know, man, but maybe he's skateboarding
I
with
used to
your
have
with
I
your
used to wear
grown up
chains
watch.
like that when I was a teenager back in the
Exactly.
90s.
How'd you
I,
get
I,
grown up watch into your head with that picture?
I know, it's weird. I guess they're trying to be hip and cool. That guy, looking at his hand, he's probably like 40.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 9. Number
Uh-huh.
9 is the Seiko Arnie.
All right. So back to the original point that we had just mentioned with those 80s you know, throwbacks and movies, and seeing that I've seen that Casio everywhere, even on WandaVision. This is one that I really, you know, when it throws back, I do want it. You know, Commando's probably one of my favorite Schwarzenegger movies. My first crush came from Commando with Alyssa Milano, and
Oh yeah.
him setting that watch, you know, for the 11 hours he had to rescue his daughter, is just something that stuck in my head. When it was
Mm-hmm.
reissued, I remember your AD was, you know, you did a video with your AD with like 3 Seiko watches he had just
Yeah.
gotten, and this was one of them. And I was like, wow, I really want that Arnie watch. And, you know, it's not about all the other parts, you know, like the mineral crystal and all that stuff and the solar powers. It's really, for me, all about the nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not have any interest in this watch whatsoever until I shot that video. And
Yeah.
when I opened the box and I looked at it, if you watch the video, I'm like, wow. Like I think I said something like, I had no concern for this at all, but now I need this in my life. Like
Yes.
it's so cool in person. It really is. And it wears very well for its size.
Yeah. Yeah. You
And
don't have to be a
apparently you can wear it with a
Schwarzenegger.
suit if you want.
Or if you're jumping out of a plane to rescue your daughter in 11 hours.
Exactly.
There you go.
You know, so Strap Code, who does a lot of bracelets and straps and stuff, they did a video maybe last week or the week before, and they have this new braided leather watch strap, which is really cool. I don't know if it's your thing, but I liked it. And they had it on, I think it was an Arnie or a dark tuna, and
Okay.
I loved it. I just wanted this dark brown braided leather on one of these. It was just so vintagey cool. I can definitely see myself rocking one of these.
Yeah, I think with me, I may like my, you know, I've got that paracord type watch
Yeah.
strap, and I think this
Yeah.
would be perfect on a paracord military watch strap.
It would. Before we go any further, I do want to point out that all of the images that I took, I've put credit down below. Some are from Instagram. I tried to take from the main page of the actual manufacturer, but you'll find that actually Seiko is not good on their website at advertising these things. I couldn't find a page that would stay up for the Arnie. It would pop up and then it would disappear
Yeah,
to their
and
main
there was no
page.
right clicking. Yeah, I tried
Yeah.
to send you some of these too, and it was
Yeah, so
not happening.
that's from Long Island Watch, and that's from Long Island Watch. So, and which is a great AD. So go for Long Island Watch if that interests you. All right, are you ready for number 10?
Yep.
Any guesses what it's going to be?
I've got no idea.
All right, so number 10 is my last pick, and it is another Arnie. I'm really at a debate. Do I get the regular Arnie, or I really like this one, which is it's the Safari version, so they're calling it the SAFARNIE.
I like that. Yeah.
What I like about this one is I have an SKX, and the Arnie has an SKX dial.
Yeah.
Basically, that's truncated at the top with the digital display. The SAFARNIE has a bit of a different style to it. I don't know why I like that orange, reddish orange indicator on both of the pushers on the left.
Yes.
It matches the second tan. I love this colorway. I've got a thing for tan. It's about $40 more than the Arnie. But right now I'm seeing the Arnie on sale, like the Bay, which is something we have in Canada. I don't know if you have it. I think it's like 497 Canadian, and it's normally 650 Canadian.
Gotcha.
So,
that's a good price.
Yeah, they're giving them away basically at that price, whereas the SAFARNIE is still new and it's still pretty much full price, maybe 10 or 15% off if you have connections at your AD.
Right. I mean, it's a nice colorway. I do like the seconds matching with the pushers. It's an interesting look. Plus you get that tan rubber. It's an overall. I can see you wearing it. Based on your Instagram profile and you going out to the woods and up to the out the trailer and whatnot, and in the lake. I see that on your wrist 100%, man.
Yeah, and I can see that nice 80s original style on your wrist. We'll be Arnie buddies.
There we go. We'll be filming Schwarzenegger. What do you call them? Flip grids and whatnot.
So these are the top 10 watches that Isaiah and I are looking at buying. These are Isaiah's top 5. And I want you folks to write down below which one of these you think he should go for. The Fair, the Breitling, the Mr. Jones, the Dan Henry, and of course the Arnie. And then these are my top 5. The STOWA, the Baltic, the Casio G-Shock, and then the SAFARNIE. Now, Isaiah, I want to know from you, which one of these do you think I should buy?
I think the SAFARNIE, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I think you've got watches that look like that STOWA that you can, interchangeably play with. Knowing you personally, the divers are not really your thing in a sense. Like I wouldn't fault you for getting a diver.
Yep.
The G-Shock, you've got G-Shocks, but that to me would be the new watch that you would have, something new, different from the rest of your collection that would stand out on its own. So that's my vote. Yeah,
great point. Looking at yours, man, you should buy all of them.
It's like that meme I sent you. Like, what, my financial responsibility? I'm a watch collector. Are you kidding?
I agree. I think you should buy the Arnie, and then we'll be Arnie buddies. And then you should start putting money away for that Breitling, because I think that's a watch that you've always wanted.
Yeah.
And you should set that goal and go for it.
Yeah, I think that other one, maybe like a birthday. Hey, it's my birthday coming up, and I'll just throw one of the lower end ones at somebody.
And you've been good. You and I have been good. We haven't bought watches in months.
No,
I mean, you bought the Oris a couple of weeks ago, but there was a span there for a while.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten a watch since Black Friday when there was the sales, and I had not gotten anything in between then till I got the Oris. I was literally holding my money and just, like I said, I was like, why buy $300, $400, $500 watches when I can just buy a nice heirloom piece at this point?
Yeah. So I do have a confession.
Which one'd you buy?
I already bought one of these.
I knew it. And it's the Baltics.
I did. How did you know?
I knew it. Because I know you, man. I knew it.
I bought the AQUASCAPHE. I bought it used, actually.
Which
there was
one?
a guy, the cheaper one, the blue gilt one, not
Good
the GMT.
Good call.
So I've sold a bunch of watches, and I had money in my account, and this guy was selling it for mint. It was great, and for quite a bit under what it would cost me to buy one new, especially when you factor in the duty and the taxes that hit you at the border.
Right.
So it's going to be here by Friday.
Okay, great. I can't wait to see it. Hope you're doing a video on it and lots of pictures. I'm very interested, but I knew it. I knew you were holding out.
You know me too well, my man.
That's it. That's it.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah. So I guess my taste is starting to evolve towards the uber expensive not uber expensive. It's not like they're $80,000 watches, but I don't have a Type A watch. I have a Type B Laco. I'm a big fan of Laco. I like their stuff, and obviously they're one of the original manufacturers, the made in Germany deal. And I just like this watch. It looks like your Long Island watch almost to me, like matching. Obviously that was homage. And I dig the original. Plus, I don't have many black cases either. Like I have almost exclusively stainless steel cases at this point. And the only one I don't is my AVI 8. And I think I can use some more colorways on the case itself.
Right. Beautiful watches. I mean, the fit and finish, the mechanics will be just 10 times up above my Islander, which I love my Islander, but it's not this.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And no offense to Long Island watch. We love you guys.
Yeah. $200 sapphire crystal. It's a great watch. Loving it.
Yep.
And it's running around like 6-7 seconds a day. So you can't beat that for a $200 watch.
Not at all. Not at all.
I've got two.
All right.
Now, when I made this PowerPoint, I hadn't bought a watch. So I honestly had all these juggling in the air. Marathon just came out with their 41 mil in the Arctic white. They only had it in the 36 before, which would be tiny for me. But Marathon is so overpriced, in my opinion. I know they're rugged. I know they have history, and they're Canadian, which I like. But I'm going to wait for this to go on sale at some point and probably pick up a Marathon down the road. The Christopher Ward C60 Sapphire is just such a cool watch. It's got that blue sapphire dial. So the dial is sapphire.
Wow.
So sapphire sandwich with a sapphire middle, a lot of sapphire going on. And so you can see through.
I really love the second hands on that one because it looks like a trident, like Aquaman's trident, and that's pretty awesome to me.
Yeah. Christopher Ward, most people respect it. A lot of people don't like that logo at the 9.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. And some people just won't wear a watch that has someone else's name on it. And I get that, but I don't care. Anyway, I could see myself buying one of these down the road either way, and I could probably see myself buying that Arnie as it gets closer to summer.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yep. Looking at that Arnie.
Looking at that Arnie. So this has been top 10 watches that Isaiah and I want to buy. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to comment down below, and I want to say a big thanks to Isaiah for joining me again.
Yeah, thank you for having me as always, Alton, and I can't wait to do it again. And everybody, let us know which ones you like and subscribe. Like the channel, like the watches.
Oh, yeah, and hit Isaiah up. You will find him at IM__NYC on Instagram, and I'll leave a link in the description below.
Thank you.
All right, peace.